To look at this house, you know, it wasn't that much different than ours. It made me realize being a big country star was just something that everyday people did. It was a real eye-opener.
When Ronnie was in the 6th grade, he wanted to play the saxophone.
It was sexy. I thought the chicks would dig that.
I don't remember when I started singing, but it was definitely very young. And I can remember my mother playing piano. She was a great piano player, and my grandmother was an unbelievable ragtime piano player. Music was just always a part of our life. I mean, when we'd go somewhere, we'd jump in the car, and as soon as the doors closed, we started singing. Our parents had all their college songs. We sang everything from Ramblin' Wreck from Georgia Tech to, you know, to Kumbaya. My grandmother actually, I think when I was 6, got me a ukulele. I got a chord book and learned all the songs, so when I was 9 or 10, my dad finally got me a guitar. I was off and running.
One time for Christmas, Ronnie's grandmother gave him a little toy saxophone, and he liked to play it. So when Ronnie was in the 6th grade, he wanted to play the saxophone.
It was sexy. I thought the chicks would dig that. I'm gonna take up a clarinet. Kidding me? Flute? Get a job.
When they sold us the saxophone, they said, now don't be disappointed because you just don't pick these up and play them. Before the salesman left that night, Ronnie was playing a tune on that saxophone. He's just naturally talented. His daddy was that way too.
Some folks like to put on airs and listen to them long hairs, but I'm a hillbilly at heart. I got a meter half a mile with my good old country style. I'm a hillbilly at heart.
He was a singer, a guitar player, a songwriter, and that was his passion all his life. When I was born, he cut records and banged away in bars and played with bands and stuff out in West Texas. He's the outlaw. He's the dang star. He should have had the record deal, not me. I inherited my dream, yeah, for music from my dad. It's eerie. I look at it now, and I'm everything that he wanted to be.
I'm sure that was Jesse's dream, was to be a country star. At that time, Elvis was going strong, and they wanted somebody to do rock and roll instead of just country music, like he wanted to sing. He
was hardcore country. He was very dedicated. He didn't delve off into rock. I'd have to sneak off and listen to my rebellious rock and roll and turn it up. Like everyone else, every other kid growing up, I've heard turn that down 1,000,000 times.
Me, I ain't a bit ashamed to stand right up here and sing. I'm a hillbilly at heart.
Wow. Well, what we have here isn't just a Brooks and Dunn thing. This is a real serious piece of country music history. Johnny Horton lived here because of the Louisiana Hayride.
The Louisiana Hayride was part of that idea that, you know, we could really have a musical scene in Shreveport.
The Hayride was still going, but it was no longer in its heyday, you know? Johnny Cash and Hank Williams and Elvis, you know, even played the Hayride a lot. And they liked it, because I think it was a little crazier down in Louisiana than it was in Tennessee. Nashville did a thing that Shreveport should have done, and that was they started recording there. And as a result, the Opry became the main focus. But at one time, they were almost perfect rivals. This is only about a block from where I grew up. After Hank died, Billie Jean married Johnny Horton. They had a daughter that was my age, Nina. We went to grade school together. And Billie Jean Horton hired me for like my first show in that garage right there. Played with 4 of my buddies. There was 5 of us. She paid us $5, $1 a piece to play for Nina's birthday party, and it was a big gig for us. To look at this house, you know, it wasn't that much different than ours. It's been added on to since then, but it made me realize being a big country star was just something that everyday people did. It was a real eye-opener.
My dad would go away on these cross-country trips when he was driving a truck, and he would bring back these Ace Cannon albums. and Boots Randolph albums. I would take them back in the bedroom, shut the door, put them on the record player, and I'd learn them note for note. As shy as I was, I mean, it was like, shoot me before you make me do this. His friends would come over, and he would make me come out, put that record on, and play with it. Once I got beyond just being embarrassed as I could be, I kind of felt a little pride, the fact that he was taking an interest in that.
We always seemed to have a house full of guitar pickers or musicians of some kind. I don't know where they'd all come from, but Jesse could always find them.
They would come over on weekends and bring all their instruments and set up in the living room, and we'd sit there and play all till the wee hours of the morning.
It was never wild and crazy, that kind of stuff. They'd sit around and pick out songs, you know, and go, hey, let's do You're Cheating Hard or something like that, or sing Marty Robbins stuff. Before my 14th birthday, my dad bought a used Sears bass guitar. So I would sit with him while he would play his guitar and play bass to it. He would teach me the notes, and I'd get to kind of play with him. And from there, I'd start playing in bands in high school. I was perfectly comfortable sitting way in the background, you know, not having to sing, just playing and then doing that.
Military school looked like a good way out of the house, and it was. When I got there, I wasn't a problem child. I mean, they were all pro screw-ups at military school.
When I left for college, I can remember my dad standing at the door shaking his head. What are you doing? Where are you going? You know, what a waste.